Okay, hi. This is totally not my thing, but I am so excited about PoE 2's early access that I just kind of have to make a video. Uh, I'm just so excited that I want to share, and I got a lot of questions and kind of expectations that I have for the game, so I just want to kind of note this down prior to PoE 2 actually coming out. And I'll also be going over basically what my idea is for my general build. So, because I don't know any skills or anything, I have a very general layout for it. And right here, I kind of went through, I kind of shoved something into ChatGPT to get a couple headings, and then I kind of filled it out as see fit with things that actually make sense and not just garbage. But the headings, for the most part, which some I've changed, improved, or removed, or whatnot, but it gives me a general layout, and I'm all right with how this is. So let's see. How does core mechanics compare to Path of Exile 1, Leech, and Manual Block? This interests me as I love Leech, and Manual Block seems very, very cool and intuitive, but like, I would definitely need to feel it in game. Like, I understand that there's leech resistance now, but I don't know how that feels yet. I would need to experience it in game, and I'm really excited for those. The fluidity of combat, I think it's going to be pretty damn fluid. Like with combination of skill comboing and dodge rolling, which is new. I guess that's what people are saying when they say it's like a Souls-like game, along with the boss fights in the game. I feel like that's what they're comparing it to, and people say that in like a negative kind of connotation matter to like kind of put down the game, but that seems awesome to me. So yeah, it sounds like a big plus for me. And another thing is, I think dodge roll is just built into your character, which is awesome. Because in PoE 1, you would always run Flame Dash. You do that so you can able to get out of skills and out of any attacks a boss may be throwing at you. But now you essentially have like I mean I wouldn't know if it's better or worse or not, but you already have something like that built into your character, I believe. And that's great since you don't have to run Flame Dash anymore. Instead, you have an open skill slot. So it's great because it solves the problem of always needing a skill to dodge out of opponent's attacks. And next is runes versus bench crafting. And I got breakpoints in brackets here because I think it's very important. And what I mean by that is, like in Act 6, when you're in PoE, you kill Katava, and then you get minus 30 elemental resistances. But that forces you to assess your gear and to put on bench crafts to fix the elemental resistances that had just went down. Um, th- and in that, I think it's good in that you have to assess your gear from time to time, and those breakpoints force you to do so, and that's good. But uh, it kind of does so in a almost unnatural way, in that it forcibly lowers your elemental resistances. I'd rather it be a way in which, oh, there's a boss with a heavy amount of fire damage. I better like know that and prepare for it. Or this next boss is just outright like very strong, and you need to be prepped and have like thought about like benchmarks prior to it. So in that way, it would be more of a natural breakpoint rather than an arbitrary one by lowering your stats. And I think that could be good. Skill system. The new socket system. I think this is amazing for new players, as now you can finally experiment with skills. You cannot do this in Path of Exile 1. You are limited by your socket colors, your number of sockets, the attributes that each one's cost. And I think it's very good. Hopefully, um, hopefully it should feel really, really good, especially since I'm going in here. Actually, this probably should be a part of it, as I'm going in with a loose plan. And I will be doing experimentation myself, and it's not like there's any sort of way to play the game yet, as there's no one who really has. It's not like there's build guides out there. You got to do your own experimentation yourself, and that's what I'm doing. And that's very different, because I'm just a prominent build stealer. I would take another person's build and then run it from there. I might make my own changes there, but there's always the foundation. And hopefully that'll turn out really nicely for me. Now, in terms of content, this I'm interested in. Would I be invested in the lore? Because in PoE 1, I was not. I would just click through every little bit of dialogue and not care, and I would just progress through the campaign, get to endgame as fast as I can, get through maps as fast as I can, do X, Y, Z as fast as I can. I mean, probably come to a point where I do this again with PoE 2, but it's more impressions on for first impressions. I'm going to be personally taking the campaign through very slow, killing every side boss, and all of that. And speaking of that flow of campaign, again, I'm going to be going through the campaign, going through each area individually, and trying to do all the optional quests as possible, as they give permanent buffs. Now, I wonder how this feels, because I can imagine this might, like, because they're notated by skulls on the map. I've seen in the reveal. But I wonder, when you're trying to run through the game, and there's so many optional quests that give permanent buffs, like plus spirit, maximum res, you know, how would it feel leveling a new character? Do I have to do it again? Probably. That's something to think about. And gear progression. This is awesome, since currency items are dropping a lot more in the campaign, so you're incentivized to use them. There's also rune crafting. Again, socket things in. And there's also unID'd rarity tiers. Yeah. So that way you don't get the bottom roll necessarily. The bottom rolls of an item could be blocked out, which is very nice for gear progression. And now onto endgame. First one's an important one. How does the one portal gameplay feel? This could be jarring. This could be jarring for real, because I am not good. But I can imagine people might have a tough time with this, but it might also feel very rewarding to be able to have a character to just live any map. That could feel really good. And yeah, speaking, I hope the new endless map. I don't know what if people are gonna even call it mapping. I really hope not, because it's different now. Can the endgame live up to the mapping PoE1? I hope so. It seems like a pretty damn cool concept, but locking you out of a map after one portal might cause some problems if you like attempt to brick your entire atlas. I understand that there's a fail safe at the beginning, but if you expand out and then almost if you could like go through each area basically on purpose, blocking out every exit, would there be another fail safe that could get through it? Tablets versus scarabs. I'm not sold on tablets yet, even though it looks really cool. Because I guess you just have to keep ever out expanding. Can you? How many tablets can you activate on one tower? That's something to note. I don't know. I again, this is another something I'd have to feel in game. I really don't know. And moving on, the favorite map system. I really hope there's something like that because everyone's gonna have their own favorite layout and optimal layout to run as per their build. I hope that we can still have something like that in there because otherwise it's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna have to run, you know, the cells map equivalent. Oh man, I have to get through like all these maps before I can get to like even like a half decent layout. And then it's like more and more. So I really hope there's a system in there like that. Graphics and performance, yeah, duly noted. It, the visuals are going to be great. Seeing early access is going to be great. But my concern is performance in that if low end PCs are going to run the game. Because if I were to get some friends into this game that don't have a good PC, then that's like the only barrier to entry at this point. They've done such a good job of like the socketing system and like, yeah, dodge rolling so you can dodge things, and they've done a good job to, oh, like the skill videos and just showing you what everything does. Oh, it's gonna be great, but this seems like the only barrier to entry. Like if the game can't run fine, then I can't get my friends to it. That's it. And hopefully that's not the case. Technically, I still don't know, but I imagine it's going to be worse than Path of Exile 1. And if it is worse, then that's not good. And I can't get my friends into the game. Because it's not like they have gaming PCs, per se. So, we'll see. Sound effects for combat. Oh, I really hope that's going to be nice. It should be. Music's always going to be good. Looking forward to the remastered light motifs. PoE 1. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good thing. Community and multiplayer features. Does trade feel better than PoE 1? Economy. Oh man. It should. It should. Because what I heard, what wasn't there like changes so that like alterations don't do what they're supposed to, and there's like an importance on bases. Um. Oh, and like scours, is that it? I think scours. Then bases that you find on the ground are much more important. And there's like the tiers for unidentified items, so that would be really nice. Party play, oh, with like skill comboing is going to be just absurd. That would be really fun. Yeah, does the game challenge new and veteran PoE players? Don't think I removed this from the chat GPT, but that I think there was a reason. That poses a good question. If you want to simultaneously challenge both the new and veteran players, otherwise you'll have a boring game, but you don't want to scare away the new players or bore the veteran players. So you need to find a good balance, and I wonder how that balance is going to be. So this is going to be in terms of balance. So that's going to be cool and interesting. Is the game friendly to new players? Well, it should be. It should be. I'm going to say yeah. Just on what I've seen so far, and I think it's going to be really good for new players. But and this is just like an overall question: is it a complete upgrade, and would I go back to PoE 1? It's looking to be one, which I don't know how I feel. In that, like, because people are saying, oh, PoE 2 time is taking dev time away from PoE 1, and this and that, whatnot. But if it just becomes a complete upgrade to PoE 1 to me, then I don't care what happens to PoE 1. If it's just an upgrade, you know, you could shut down the PoE 1 servers, and I'd be fine because there's the other one. If it's just an upgrade in every way, and from what I've seen, I don't think, like, even through the Jonathan Rogers interviews, he was saying there's like not as much reason to go back to PoE 1 as it feels. I don't know how his descriptor of his word was. It clunkier? I shouldn't put words into his mouth, but the PoE 2 seems like an upgrade. So I don't think I'll be going back to PoE 1. It doesn't make sense, and that's basically just kind of my overview of my game and some questions that I pose. And I want to go back to this, maybe like after like several weeks to a month, see if I can answer all these questions, because this is really interesting. Path of Exile is just such a good and well-made game that it has made me want to do an analysis on the game. And that's like, kidding me? I'll just play the game. No, it is pushed me to the point where I actually want to analyze and see how the game is, from an analysis perspective. So I will go back and answer these kind of questions, even if they're like not necessarily questions like this. I can construct these into questions and answer these. Should be lots of fun. And what I'm doing, for my build, it is a very rough plan, as I have noted here, is Chronomancer, because Chronomancer just seems so cool. I don't see, like, I couldn't even think that they would add something that could be able to stop time. Like that is insane. So time stop is the main thing I wanted to build around, because you can just stop, chunk something for damage at any point in time. So instead of waiting for the boss necessarily to, you know, oh, the boss is hucking like attacks at you, and you gotta wait for him to like stagger, or have a point where he's not doing much for you to get in and do your attack. Time stop just eliminates that. You can now do that at any time, provided that you're off its cooldown. And you got reverse time. You can reverse time and reverse back your mana and your health. So that's going to be really good defensively and offensively, or at least the way how I built it, or I'm theorizing. Because I'm thinking, with reverse time, you can have a mana stacker and use Archmage. That way you deplete all your mana in one big massive attack. Then you reverse time, and then you have your mana back, and all of a sudden you can use your attack again. And easy like that. That's the idea. And now, oh yeah, and here I posed a question here. Does reversing time revive enemies killed? That would probably be stupid. And I doubt that is the case. But if that is the case, that kind of kills that idea, right? Revives enemies, maybe potentially healing them. That would kind of reverse the idea of the skill. Like, what's the point? Um, but hopefully, this is kind of a loose plan that I got, and it should be lots of fun. I'm going in there with that plan. I don't know any skills um, that are on the game, that are in the game that I'll be using. I'm just gonna have to go in blind and see how I can go through the campaign, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Should be lots of fun. And that's basically it. I'm going in, I'm streaming on Twitch tomorrow when it releases. Um, I should be having a blast. Yeah, should be a massive fun time. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna be figuring out the game along with everyone else. Should be fun. That's it.